It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, if you've ever wondered why is this called the caffeinated classroom, number one, listen to the rate of my speech. And number two, watch my daily habits. There's a caffeine intake. I'm not even ashamed of it either. Welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. If this is your first time here, I'm Marie, and I am so excited to have you join me today as I teach high school English language arts in Southern California. Anyways, it is Wednesday, and Wednesdays here are a late start. We have professional development time in the morning. Sometimes it means all staff meetings, sometimes it means other sorts of like committee things, and today it is just grade level team meetings, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna pop over next door in just a moment, make sure that our 10th grade calendars are all nicely aligned, and then I have some prep to do for the rest of this week, and I'm excited to just kind of dig in and get things going. I wanna make sure I'm really, really good at like thinking things through and then like forgetting to actually make the activity. Like I do it all the time. I've kind of done it my whole entire career. And because I have taught so many different things, I've taught all 4 grades of English, I've taught, I ran our theater department for 5 years, like I've taught so many different things that I've never really stayed in the same thing for multiple years, long enough to really refine exact projects. Some of them, okay, that's a lie. Some things I've totally got refined, but that was on a semester schedule. And now that I'm on a quarter system, like I said in yesterday's vlog, I threw everything out and I'm just letting the cream rise to the top and seeing what works. So basically, when I say that I'm a 12th year, first year teacher, I haven't had any coffee yet, which is shocking for me. I'm about to hop over to the barista, which is me, but the cafe section of the classroom. So when I say that, I truly mean like you newer teachers, first, second, even third year teachers, I feel you. The biggest difference is I don't have that panic that it's not all gonna come together, because I know it is gonna come together, and you can know it's going to come together. You're gonna teach the kids things. They're gonna learn stuff from you, and they're gonna be better for it. And you're gonna be better for it. But it's super hard, and it's just create, output. And I will say also, because of the experience that I have under my belt, the creation and the output doesn't take as much refining as it used to. Like the first time it was just a hot mess, right? And then the second time you get a little bit better. And then the third time you go, oh, that's what I'm trying to teach them through this. And you start to like figure it out. I'm getting to like the 5th attempt on the first one now, because I have over a decade of knowledge. You guys, I'm rambling and I need some coffee, so I'll check in with you later. What? Is this the kind of day it's going to be? They just want my coffee. Hi friends, I know that you've been waiting with bated breath for the past 3 seconds, but don't worry, my coffee ended up being made. There's cream in it and everything. It's so good. It's so good. Anyways, if you've ever wondered why is this called the caffeinated classroom, number one, listen to the rate of my speech. And number two, watch my daily habits. There's a caffeine intake. I'm not even ashamed of it either. I want to tell you what I have been working on. I'm creating myself a to-do list. As you can see here, it's not that expansive yet, but there's definitely way more to be done, because I started just taking care of making sure everything was done for today. As you saw in yesterday's vlog, the afternoon got a little hairy because I had to run to the pediatrician and then take my daughter to dance and then run home. We have stuff going on, like there are some family issues happening right now outside of our immediate family, and so my husband and I have a lot of coordinating that we have to do just to make sure that like the day happens. And we're both teachers, so as you guys know, most of you watching are teachers. Our day-to-day lives are so like physically and emotionally demanding that it just takes a lot of coordinating and a lot of prep, and you just gotta, like, you can't let your guard down, you gotta stay on it. So anyways, so I was finishing up creating my like daily agenda to-do list slides, which I make for every day, for today. I was making them for today. And then I was getting some stuff ready for FlipGrid, because my freshmen are gonna be recording their narratives, their short stories, the original stories that they wrote before we went on break. They turned those in, and then now they are going to be recording themselves, reading them. and uploading them to FlipGrid. So I was just setting it up and sharing the link to Google Classroom because we're gonna have Chromebooks today, so they'll be able to take care of the recording and uploading today because they're watching tomorrow. And then now I am working ahead, and by ahead I mean I'm working on tomorrow because I need to get some more close readings copied for Lord of the Flies. Right now, today we're gonna finish chapter 2 and move on to chapter 3, little passages, annotating, close reading. And then tomorrow we're gonna look at chapter 4, and they are supposed to have their Lit Circle books. So I'm getting stuff ready because they're gonna have their first like book club Lit Circle meeting on Friday, which means I need to have a reading schedule created. I need to have book club meeting norms and forms created, which I have created. I just need to like tweak them for this particular unit and make copies. It's not that much work. It's just a lot of coordinating. And the beauty of it is I'm really liking this unit already, even though I've only been doing it for like 2 days. And I think it's going to stick. And I like the style that I am doing with this bigger, denser novel that is really hard for kids to relate to, where I'm using more modern texts that are, or more contemporary texts that students are more engaged with, to couple with the larger or like heavier all class text. I like the way it's going already, so I think this might be a model that I use even with To Kill a Mockingbird with my freshmen in our last quarter of the year. So I'll let you know how that goes. But I am gonna keep working, and I will check in with you guys after I see the kiddos. So excited actually to talk to you guys a little bit about my initial reactions to FlipGrid. So like I said before, this is the first day ever that I've used FlipGrid ever. I mean, I was like looking at it yesterday and I set up my like grids and my topics. Yeah, I set them up yesterday, so I kind of like discovered how it works then. And then today my students are using it for the first time and it's kind of awesome. And I gave them more time, like way more time than they would ever need to record a no more than 3-minute video. But I'm asking them to do something that's pretty uncomfortable for most people. So they had the whole class period to record and re-record as many times as they'd like. If they finished early, they can work on other homework or read or just don't be distracting, basically. So I'm excited. I've started watching a few. I do have one student who is sitting there just like munching on a snack bar. So I'm gonna email him and hopefully he sees it and say, could you re-record where you're not chewing during your video? Note to self, I need to make those kinds of guidelines abundantly clear. I think I just didn't even think that somebody would be eating during their storytelling like presentation, but you know, kids are kids, and I guess he was just hungry, and so I just think kids are so cute and they make the weirdest choices sometimes. Anyways, and now what I am doing, because it's my prep period, I actually am about to run to another school, high school in my district, one of our sister schools, because for my sophomores, with our lit circles that we are starting tomorrow with our Lord of the Flies companion novels, I needed 5 more copies of One of Us is Lying for students. I just wanted to make it as possible as I could for them to read whichever of the choices like really stood out to them between The Giver, One of Us is Lying, and The Hunger Games. And I had so many students really excited to read One of Us is Lying, but it's only available right now in hardback. And they were like, yeah, my mom's not gonna buy me a $20 book. And I was like, I get it. So luckily, one of our sister schools, another high school in my district, has like a ton of copies. They must be doing lit circles with it because they have a boatload of copies. And I said, can I borrow 5? And they said yes. So I need to run over there in a few minutes to go get that. But I wanted to show you before I go what I have been working on, having to do with like creating a schedule. It's kind of a logistical mess at the moment, but once I have it all figured out, this unit is going to be amazing and I'm super excited. Okay, so you can see this is what my creative process looks like. It looks like a crazy messy desk. I've got Lord of the Flies over here. I've got 2 empty coffee cups. This one's actually from Monday, but that's okay, it's Wednesday. I have this paper, which is a reading log that I use when I do book clubs or lit split circles, and you can see there are, on the front there are 3, and then on the back there are 4 more for a total of 7 meetings. They're only going to meet officially 6 times, and then meeting 7 will be an independent reflection. And each of their meetings is revolving a different aspect of the literature. I'll tell you more about that later. But here's what I've been working on. Just trying to split the reading. So this is like chapters that they're reading for each of their 6 meetings. Because like there's, okay, The Giver, look at that. And then there's One of Us is Lying, which is quite a deal larger, and The Hunger Games, which is also huge. But once again, students got to choose their own. So basically, tomorrow we're going to start reading, and I'm only having them read like 30 pages, all 3, for their first meeting on Friday, and then it goes from there, and it's a little bit more even reading as they go. I actually need to finish reading The Giver tonight, and then my job between now, Wednesday afternoon, and Friday morning, when my students have their first book club meetings, they also have a reading quiz. And this reading quiz is, yes, partially for comprehension, for me to do a comprehension check, but also just to be a little bit of motivating to keep them on track. So I do need to make some reading quizzes. And yes, I'm going to be making 18 reading quizzes between the 3 books for 6 meetings each. But you know what? I'm kind of okay with it because I have recently read all 3 of these, like in the last month. And like I said before, once it's done, it's done. And I'm really liking this unit, so I think I'm going to use it over and over and over again. And I'm liking the model for this to use with other larger, denser texts, like I was saying earlier. So now I am going to finish making sure that everything is prepped for tomorrow when I come in. All of my agenda slides are ready to rock and roll, and then I'm gonna get out of here and go pick up those books and go get my kids. And we've got, you know, sports practice after school. And oh my gosh, I never told you guys about the pediatrician yesterday. So if you saw my weekend vlog from this last weekend, I'll link it in the iCards. My daughter and I went to urgent care because I have a stress rash on my hand, which is still there. I need to go to the dermatologist. And she had this weird thing happening in her armpit. She was diagnosed then as having ringworm. And I was like, ew. And how does a 2-year-old in the winter when she's wearing sleeves get ringworm in her armpit? Like, it didn't make any sense. And then what happened is the rash spread all over her whole torso. So poor baby. And it was really painful and like itchy for her. So I ended up taking her to the pediatrician yesterday. She has this random, like not contagious rash that kids just get, and they think it's attributed to a virus, but they have yet to find which virus it is. And it spreads and it itches in like half of the patients that it presents in. And just as weirdly and suddenly as it came on, it'll just go away in 6 to 8 weeks. So just thought I'd update you on that. I am going to log off with you guys now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that these daily vlogs are answering some questions that I know people have been having, or just kind of showing you my process. I hope there's something that's enjoyable here. I'm gonna show different parts of like my classroom life, of my teacher mom life, and that sort of thing. So just let me know what you wanna see. Let me know what's working. You know, give me some responses in the comments below. And if you've not already subscribed, go ahead and do so. Click the little bell so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and I will check in with you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.